Hey everyone, and welcome to another Star Wars Games Update, where we bring you all of the latest and greatest in Star Wars gaming news. With EA Play Live happening this week on Thursday, then you'd usually expect the excitement levels of Star Wars gaming fans to be at an all-time high. But unfortunately, that's not gonna be the case this year. However, it's not all doom and gloom, as the fact still remains that the Star Wars game Drought is soon to nonetheless end this year. And before we get into any of that, a quick reminder that if you do like these type of videos, then be sure to give it a like to show your support for this update series and the content within it. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Last week, Capital Games announced the newest character and member of the Bad Batch arriving to Galaxy of Heroes, Omega. A light side attacker, Bad Batcher, and clone trooper, her highlights include a high single target damage dealer and damage potential boosting. And as expected, she also has full synergy with all of the current members of the Bad Batch. Her three abilities are the following. Disarming Shot is her basic ability, where Omega deals physical damage to a target enemy. If Omega has evasion up, then she inflicts blind and daze for one turn. Adaptive Learner is her first special ability. Here, Omega deals physical damage and inflicts the target enemy with Zeroed In. If Zeroed In is dispelled from all other enemies, then Omega gains a stack of target practice to help boost her damage potential. Her second ability is Empathy First, where Omega dispels all debuffs on herself and gains stealth for 2 turns. Then her Bad Batch allies also gain 40% protection up and defense penetration up for 2 turns and a 10% turn meter. And so it goes without saying that for anyone looking to complete their Bad Batch collection in Galaxy of Heroes, then having Omega on their team is a must. We've got some very minor but also interesting Battlefront 2 news to talk about, as DICE map designer Peter Vesti recently shared a fascinating fact regarding the Geonosis map, specifically the one for Galactic Assault. On Twitter, he revealed that initially the first phase map was slightly different than what we actually ended up getting. In addition to this, he also revealed that there was an extra phase at the beginning of the map that did not make it into the final version of the game. As for what exactly that was, we don't know, but Peter did luckily promise that he would eventually try to share the exact details about this sometime in the near future. So drop in the comment section down below on what you think this extra phase could have been. Personally, I'm thinking it may be to do with taking out the CIS anti-air towers to allow for the ATTE to land. But honestly, it could really be anything, and who knows? Maybe even related somehow to the droid factory doors located on the map too. So, EA Play Live is usually a time for Star Wars fans to rejoice, as this is when we get to learn about either a new Star Wars game coming out, or at the very least to get news on some exciting DLC to an already existing title. For the most part, many were expecting the announcement of a sequel or even prequel to Jedi Fallen Order, which at this point is no big secret that Respawn are definitely working on something like that. As for when it's coming out in either 2022 or 2023, well, that's exactly what many of us were hoping to find out this summer. Not to mention, earlier in July, the EA Star Wars Twitter account tweeted this out, asking players what their top 3 favorite maps in Battlefront 2 are, with some fans even reading into this as a tease toward a potential Battlefront 3 maybe being announced at EA Play Live. Which I know is stretching things by quite a bit, but regardless, for EA to post something like this just before EA Play Live, well, it's kind of interesting, as they definitely knew what they were doing with that tweet. As for whether them deciding to stir the pot just before a big event was a smart play or not, then I'll let you decide on that one. But unfortunately, as it would have it, all of the Star Wars hype for EA Play Live this year has pretty much died out, as EA a few days ago dropped this massive news that no, there won't be any new Star Wars game announcements happening at EA Play Live this year, but rather we should expect to hear those next year. So, not exactly the news everyone was wanting to hear. And this of course means we'll have our first year in a while without a new Star Wars game by EA. So if you were a big EA Star Wars fan, then it goes without saying that this news will be a downer for you. And well, what also had been for everyone too, had EA still had their exclusivity deal to make Star Wars games. Fortunately, they don't anymore, and thanks exactly to that, the Star Wars games drought will soon be over. As well, we're not getting any new Star Wars games this summer, which of course was already expected anyway regardless of EA, we are nonetheless getting 2 Star Wars games later this year in the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga and Star Wars Hunters, both of which are not EA games and will be released in either this coming fall or winter. Then after that, 2022 is when things will really get exciting, as in next year's EA Play Live we'll definitely have confirmation of Jedi Fallen Order 2, with maybe even a 2022 release date as well. But that's not all folks, as we may also get announcements for other Star Wars EA titles, as EA in their tweet did mention games and not just a game, which means we may at least get a preview of DICE's secret Star Wars game being produced by former Battlefront 2 community manager Ben Walk, and perhaps even the rumored Empire at War 2, which is supposedly being developed by Petroglyph Games. But before all of that, we also have Star Wars Celebration 2022, which will take place in May. And that alone will be the perfect place to get the latest on all of the other non-EA Star Wars games being made, like Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment's open-world Star Wars game, or maybe even the rumored Mandalorian Xbox exclusive game, and more. So no matter what way you slice it, 2022 will be pretty big for Star Wars gaming, both from EA and other developers, so keep that in mind. As while the EA Play Live news may be disappointing, there's at least thankfully a light at the end of the tunnel, as the Star Wars games drought will soon be over later this year. And that will do it for this Star Wars games update. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel to not only support it, but to keep up with Star Wars news, gaming, and canon lore released every week. And consider following me on Twitter and Facebook to never miss out on the latest Star Wars content. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.